I don't think we talk about this enough. We think about weight loss and going to the gym, but what about how our romantic relationships help our actual health?
Yes, romantic relationships are actually a really powerful form of preventative medicine. Relationships lower our level of the stress hormone cortisol, which naturally reduces cholesterol as well as cardiovascular disease. And relationships make us happy, right? And happiness brings on better lifestyle choices as well.
I'm here for all of this.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so you have 4 dating tips, a little unconventional, but we want to share them with our viewers. 4 dating tips. I'm adding a 5th. Hire her. That's the 5th one. The 5th tip is talk to this woman. The first thing you say is examine the stories you tell yourself.
Yes, yeah. So the stories, these are I'm referring to the stories that we live by, right? The stories that kind of shape who we are, what we deserve, and how we work in relationships. So for example, a story might be, I'm completely unlovable. Or another story might be, there's no one out there for me. These stories or narratives come from very early childhood relationships and kind of become really embedded in who we are and then who we are in relationships. It's really hard to get out of these stories, right? So it's time we start questioning them. And that, of course, takes self-awareness and noticing when these stories are coming up for you throughout your dating experiences. But question them, is this fact or is this something that I just believe because it's what I know, it's what's embedded within me? And then we can start saying to ourselves, just because something is loud does not make it true, which is an amazing piece of dating advice.
I love it. I could get that as a tattoo. You also say, and I'm a huge believer in this, get rid of your checklist. Why do we need to do that?
Get rid of the checklist. Go on a date with someone who is not your usual type. Go on a date with someone who actually does not check the box, right? We get so into our normal relationship routines that we're just looking for this one person that doesn't really shake it up. It doesn't really question everything.
Or doesn't exist.
Exactly, and it's based on this superficial list of traits that we think we should want, right? Research actually suggests that we're not the best predictors of who we're going to connect with. So when we can loosen the reins on the characteristics of the person that we want to be dating or we think we should be dating, we actually open ourselves up to better and more deep connection.
Okay, the next one you say, step outside your typical dating routines.
Yes.
It's hard out there in these streets in New York.
Oh yeah.
And I have some friends who are like, he lives above 14th Street, we're not dating. I mean, sis.
So this is one of my favorite dating tips, and it's actually probably the most simple of all of them. It's do something different. Simple as that, do something different. So if you're the type of person who goes on a date and says, I'm only going to be on this date for 2 hours. That's always what I do, that's my routine. I'm gonna go on the date for 2 hours. What if you drop that? What if you go for an hour? What if you go for 3 hours? See what happens. If you're the type of person who's constantly asking all the questions, well, what happens if you take a step back and you leave room for someone else to show up for you, right? Kind of challenging these thoughts and changing patterns that we've always lived by and clearly are our comfort zone but aren't working for us is where growth really comes in.
You also say to examine your attachment patterns and be willing to change them. Would you describe what an attachment pattern is and why breaking that specific habit matters?
Of course. So attachment styles are kind of like our relationship blueprints. And again, attachment styles are developed very early in life and become the blueprint for who we are and how we operate in relationships. So they influence everything from how secure and anxiety-ridden you are with your partner to how you handle conflict and vulnerability. The good news is once you have an attachment style, it's not permanent, right? Most people think once we have it, we can't lose it, and it's just not true. Through healthy relationships, we can actually begin to notice patterns that we've had through all of our previous relationships. So for example, if you're finding that you're overly anxious in a relationship, if you're constantly seeking reassurance, you can start implementing some self-soothing techniques that work for you that then provide this sense of comfort and then start communicating with your partner about what this can look like.
Really helpful tips. Really, really helpful tips. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. For more relationship advice, follow Jordanne at Jordanne Sculler on Instagram.